why on earth wasn't it a penalty, because he doesn't. He does get the ball eventually off his backside, Pickford, but he completely misses the ball, gets the player. I'm bemused, Dermot.
I think Stephen made a really good point on the Estupiñán one about getting wrapped up in play, and I wonder if the referee isn't in the best position to see it. When you see a replay of that, especially the last one, I think if you imagine Pickford has chose not to be a goalkeeper here, hasn't he? He's chose to be an outfield player. If a fullback makes that challenge, he's going to give a penalty away. If you show the last replay, he leaps through the air. The only reason he gets the ball is because it touches his backside on the way through. He doesn't get the...
Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button, please. Make sure you are subscribing. Make sure you got those bell notifications turned on. Chelsea absolutely robbed. Robbed of an opportunity of a penalty. Robbed of an opportunity, another clear opportunity to take 3 points, which in a very close game, both teams had great chances to score, great goalkeeping saves. Yes, Jackson should have scored with that header at the far post. Some excellent saves from Sanchez, a brilliant block from Tosin. These close games sometimes come down to these types of decisions. I missed this in real time. United were on at the same time. I was focused on that game. I saw this on Ref Watch yesterday and I was flabbergasted. Flabbergasted. And I'm not a Chelsea fan, but I am fuming with it. As soon as I saw the tackle, in fact, let me break it down properly. I watched the clip before I listened to Ref Watch, and I cannot understand why a foul was not given. And listen to Dermot Gallagher, to what he said in the opening 15, 16 seconds. I am not sure the referee is best placed here to make a decision. In fact, we'll go back to it. We'll hear him say it. Listen.
Getting wrapped up in play, and I wonder if the referee isn't in the best position to see it. When you see a replay of that,
I wonder if the referee is in the best position to see it. Now, this is coming from Dermot, who is often very, 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 very biased and supportive of the PGMOL. And this fundamentally comes down to this nonsense about referees' call. I cannot wait to hear the audio recordings from this. Yes, the ball touches the bum of the player, but that isn't winning the ball, in my personal opinion. It is a reckless and dangerous tackle. In fact, it's almost identical to what he did when he injured Virgil van Dijk. And after that, the PGMOL, the people in charge, the Dermot Gallaghers, the ex-referees, part of the association, colleagues as he calls them, all stated across social media, mainstream media, punditry, it should have been a red card. Every single one of them stated it should have been a red card. And this is what I mean by subjectivity. When you have enough data surrounding subjective decisions, they absolutely, fundamentally should become objective. We have seen Pickford do this before, and each time, he's done it a couple of other times as well, and each time, should have been a red, or it should have been a pen. But he keeps getting away with it. How do fans remember this, but the people in charge of making the decisions don't? The incompetence is ridiculous. And look, Chelsea may have missed the penalty, as an example. Maybe if they score, Everton play a different way and get an equaliser, but we'll never know. Chelsea Football Club were robbed of the opportunity of a penalty, which is one of the easiest ways to score a goal. And they've got Palmer on the pitch, who doesn't miss penalties. So yes, you can criticise the problems with Chelsea's play that day. And you can criticise that. That doesn't mean you shouldn't look at this decision in isolation and say, this was a robbery. By the way, I had the same energy. Any Evertonians watching that are angry that I'm saying this, so I was on your side when Rodri handballed it in the box. Because that was the wrong decision. And what they're doing now, referees, is they're hiding behind referees' call. The PGMO, we don't want to re-referee games. Yes, you should re-referee games. Clear and obvious mistake is an absolute nonsense. Because there's never a distinction of what the clear and obvious mistake is. We don't get to hear that regularly, what the referee saw, what the linesman saw, what the fourth official saw, and what VAR are witnessing. Just define clear and obvious mistake. for me, is a clear and obvious mistake that they didn't see this as a foul in real time. It's a lunge. He's off the ground. He endangers an opponent. He doesn't win the ball. I understand in real time you can't always see these things. That's why in the Carabao Cup, didn't go too harsh on the on-field officials because it's real time. But with VAR, this is nothing short of an abomination.
The only reason he gets the ball is because it touches his backside on the way through. He doesn't get the ball actually deflects off him. But
the interesting thing about this one is if you actually, when we see the replay and it carries on, he twists his body and almost turns himself. This is the major one, where he turns away from it. Now, my big thing with this one is you are massively endangering a player here. So when you've got the ball at your feet and you're going to take a shot and you take your foot back, and again, if the ball's in this position here and you take your foot back, now as I go to shoot, if you're running at me full speed and go to hit me, if I kick through you, I'm going to break my leg.
This is such a great point here. And I have started to enjoy Ref Watch a lot more recently. I feel the host asks better questions. The guest here, Warnock, and I'm not too sure the lady's name, so I'm very, very sorry. It's gone off my head. I could go and look at it, but you guys will tell me in the comments. I'll remember for next time. And I think that's Stephen Warnock as well, by the way. I might have fucking got that wrong as well. I don't know the presenter's name either, to be honest with you. But, they're being more balanced and there is far more challenge going in, which is needed. And I'm very grateful for that. But I've seen people defend this and say, well, he had his shot. His shot didn't go in, so therefore it's not a foul. And you hear this a lot with tackles in the box. And it's just one of those things that the referees need to be called out on. If a player makes a pass, whether that pass goes to his teammate or goes out for a throw-in because it was horrible, if a late challenge then comes in on the player, it's still a foul. The same should apply in the box. And the part about this that really stood out to me the most was some more that was said later on in the clip by Dermot Gallagher, where he says that Jordan Pickford lucky not to concede a penalty. Right? Lucky not to concede a penalty. He also stated, Dermot Gallagher, that the referee wasn't in a good position. So that is an even bigger indictment, an even bigger problem for the PGMOL. You've got your mouthpiece that normally defends you, that normally says, generally when he defends a decision, Gallagher, but the referee didn't give it. I'm just here to tell you why the referee might not have given it. He doesn't even do that this time round, which shows how big a mistake this is, because there's nowhere for even Dermot Gallagher to go with this one. And he normally finds an angle. So what this really highlights is, yes, a bad on-field decision, but it can happen. The game is played at full speed. Referee's in a bad position. They've missed everything. It should have been a penalty. It was barely reviewed. This is an absolute disgrace. Truly is a disgrace. And we also saw this weekend Estepinha. Now, it's not one of the top 6 teams, so they don't feature as much on the terrace, because that's what our channel was designed at. How he was not sent off against West Ham is criminal. Leaves the ground, studs showing. Yes, he gets a touch on the ball, but because he's got both feet off the ground, can't control his body. Goes through the ball, studs go through the shin of the player, books in real time, that's it. And the reason why I find this one I'm so sensitive to this is a few years back, a couple of seasons ago, Casemiro made a tackle where he wasn't lunging with 2 feet off the ground. He slid. He wins the ball and his foot rolls over the ball and catches the guy's shin. Sent off. And in many people's eyes, they said rightfully so, because he was endangered an opponent. The fact that you can send Casemiro off of that and not his opinion for this, it's ridiculous. And again, the game ends a draw. But it isn't just about the draw. Estepinian should get a 3-game ban. He is now available for the next 3 opponents that Brighton face. So the advantage for Brighton, not only did they not go down to 10 men in that game, they keep one of their better players for the next 3 matches, which is a disadvantage for their opponents who shouldn't have to face him if the correct decisions were made. In the Pickford scenario, I think he could get sent off for that as well. I think he could get sent off for it. It's very, very dangerous. Pickford's a very good goalkeeper. He's now in goal for the next 3 Everton games, which is a disadvantage for their opponents for a player that shouldn't be there. And I know it's the season of festivities, and I know everyone's doing what they're doing, And maybe the result didn't dampen your spirits too much as Chelsea fans, as an example. But I think we still need to keep the pressure on these individuals. They've taken Ref Watch away from social media now. So it's all just put on the website of Sky Sports. It's kind of tucked behind a bit of a rock. You have to go looking for it as opposed to them posting it and talking about it now, which I find very suspicious. I find very, very suspicious indeed. But this, for me, is daylight robbery. Chelsea fans should be up in arms. They should be demanding answers. Again, we haven't heard from Howard Webb for weeks now. Weeks. We haven't heard from this guy. The guy was doing European tours. Like he's fucking Bruce Springsteen. Haven't heard a word from him in a while. And there's been a lot of bad decisions in the last 6 or 7 weeks. And they're all just being forgotten about. And I've said it before, I'm on a crusade when it comes to the VAR element of refereeing. It's inconsistencies, its lack of objectivity, and its damn right terrible decisions that were meant to be fixed by having video referees that are damaging teams week in, week out. As ever, I'd love your thoughts, feelings, and opinions in the comments section below. Take care, goodbye, God bless, and I'll see you all again soon. Peace!